Hello, beautiful people. I'm super excited to start this new series where we're just kind of recapping the week, talking about 3 things. What did I do, learn, and how did I feel this week? I've been watching Glow, and she's been doing this all year. And so, I figured I would love to look back at my year and see how much I've grown. And I love being able to just hear other people's reflections and perspectives because it helps me jot or jolt things in my own brain and memory about, like how do I feel about that, or what does that make me think of? And so I'm hoping that that can do the same thing for you. This is raw and unfiltered. We are being just, our authentic selves in this space. And so I am not editing this. Ain't nobody got time for that, okay? But yes, I'm just super excited. And my goal is to have it under 20 minutes because baby, I can talk, okay? But I just want to make sure that it's useful for somebody out there and I'm being able to kind of get through the points. So I do have my journal because your girl loves to journal, okay? And have things written in here, but I'm super excited, so let's get right into it. This week, what did I do? So on Mondays, I start my week off with a check-in. My mom and I are partners. I love it here. And it's actually, I was investing in a community at the top of the year. It was like a 3-month community where I connected with other people and we had this whole document and process where we would check in on our goals. And so I took that same process and I was like, sis, let's sit down and do the same thing. So if you're interested in that process, let me know. But we did that. We used to meet for 30 minutes at the beginning of the week every Monday. And I started the week off very anxious and overwhelmed. And I love my mom. She's just so amazing. She was like, girl, let's pause. What's going on, And I had a meeting with a client that day on Monday. And I was just feeling like, I don't feel like I have enough I have a good product to present to this client. Like, I'm feeling anxious and not good enough about the product. I'm wanting to serve them. And it was about, I'm doing a workshop for them. And one of the components is communication. And of course, my mom is the director of communication. She does communications work. So it was like such a perfect conversation. She gave me an awesome tool that was exactly what I needed to help me get unstuck. But what we also did was in that moment, just pause. She was like, girl, close your eyes and breathe. Let's just breathe through it. And so I think that was super helpful. We know the techniques, we know the things we could be doing, but do we do them? No. So in that moment, it was a great reminder to pause, to really get to the root of why are you anxious? What are you afraid of, right? I was afraid that what I was going to show them was not going to be good enough, or it wasn't answering what the client needed. And so I learned in that moment, again, to pause, but also to use your tools and resources, whether that's people or, whatever it is, especially for me as a business owner, owning an HR consulting firm. A lot of my work on the contracting side, I get to work with different contractors and consultants to support bigger projects, but this one-off workshop is something that I'm creating, right? And so you don't always have that person to bounce ideas off of. So it's really great. I have some awesome people in my community that I do get to do that with, but I don't want to bother them every time I have a workshop, So it's funny because I feel like the day before that Sunday, as I was kind of trying to work on it, I felt like the Lord had already told me to ask my mom if she had any feedback or anything like that. And I just kind of bulldozed through that and still was anxious and trying to go here and go do this and do that. And, and I think it's so important to pause and have enough stillness in your life regularly so that you can hear those unctionings of the Holy Spirit. Because if I would have just done that, it would have been a lot easier for me. Okay. So that's what I did this week. What else did I do? Yes, I also had the opportunity to have some business mentorship. So over my tenure of entrepreneurship, we're going into a full-time entrepreneurship, year 2 in September. And I have invested in different ways with business communities and mentorship. I'm investing in one currently, but it's interesting. We can come back to that. That's a learning in itself. But I I have a really amazing person in my life who is just an excellent, like, works in the education consulting space and has just a wealth of knowledge. And so I reached out to her and was like, hey, can I like pay you for your time and ask you some questions? You know, you've done this really well, in particular, the skill of creating a proposal. And so we had our first meeting on Monday. She's awesome. And she was like, gave me some homework to really get clear about, you know, as a business owner, we're focusing on areas like our clientele is small businesses and government and nonprofit. And it's like, whoa. So we just broke down even just nonprofit. There are so many different types of nonprofits in that. Are we talking about philanthropy? Are we talking about endowment-based funding? Are we talking about grant-based? Like, you know, so many volunteer-based, so many things. And so I'm really excited to see what's going to be coming out of that relationship, how I'm going to be growing as a business owner, and what life our business is going to be taking in the near future. And so I've already started. Once I get on something, baby, homework was done night one. So I'm really just allowing the Lord to lead even in that area, because it can feel a little overwhelming, like, okay, Lord, where do I go from here? You know, and I remember distinctly when I started my business, I was greatly discouraged from going into the nonprofit sector because there was no money there. And so the first 6 months of my business, I ran from nonprofit. I was like, okay, let me go into tech and, like, you know, doing things that I was familiar with. And it wasn't working. I had to pivot. I made no money. And I learned quickly that when I just felt called to, like, I know this nonprofit work well, I do it really well. And I think there's such an opportunity there to help and support communities. I'm super passionate about that. We don't have to choose one or the other, doing good work for the community or having good systems and processes internally in your organization. So I'm excited about that. Looking for just the opportunity to get that clarity and to have some accountability with where we're going and how we're growing. So talked about what I did, what I learned. Ooh, baby. This week, we learned a few things. I'm definitely working on self-talk. I think it's a lifelong thing, but just being patient with myself, being kind to myself, the same way that I treat other people, just really thinking through how I'm talking to myself subconsciously. And so, yeah, I've just been trying to do that in small ways. And beginning again, I was watching TikTok last week, and I don't know if I kind of self-diagnosed myself with ADHD. Something gotta be wrong. Okay, no, not wrong, but like, and so they were just talking about sometimes we have these like great and grand plans, right? I know for me, a couple weeks ago, I had was so excited, like made all these plans and projects. Y'all, why did the video cut out? So we're gonna begin again, because that's what I was talking about, right? So talking about beginning again and how we have these great plans, and then we something inevitably happens because life happens. I end up getting really sick. I had like the flu, COVID, one of them things. For literally a whole week, I could not get out of bed. Literally, I had to, my mommy, she had DoorDash me food, groceries, medicine, y'all. I'm so blessed. But and so, dang, I was just like, that was not part of my plan, because I had needed that whole week to like do these steps and tasks. I broke it down into like quarterly, monthly, weekly, and had all this detailed thing, and then could not execute. And so I am implementing just beginning again. Okay, what would beginning again look like? Like, what's the next step I need to take? This is where I am now. How can I shift or edit the plan that I had? Which has been really helpful. And just taking my time, not trying to rush through every single thing. I feel like my brain does run 1,000 miles a minute, and I talk really fast because I just get excited about things as well. And I have lived a lot of my life just rushing, moving from here to there and doing this and trying to avoid being late here and just rushing and not really enjoying moments. And so recently I've been just trying to be really mindful of when I'm in a moment that is really joyous and exciting, something that I love. How can I savor it? How can I breathe through it and just really enjoy it? And I think the last thing that I'm learning is also just really how to trust the Lord. Like, that is it is a hard thing. It is hard. It's hard to trust when, for me, I like to be in control of things. That's how not really, the Lord has gotten me here. That I'm clear of. But like, I have depended on myself. I know that if it's on me, I'm going to get it done, and I do that really well. And so when it comes to spiritual things or just life things, that's not how the world of walking with the Lord, that's not how it works, boo-boo. You don't get to control and like figure things out. And so having to trust it's a lesson I've been learning for many, many years, and I am still learning. And I might have recently looked up an acquaintance, some might call an ex. I might have looked them up recently, and I'm just like, okay, this is interesting. And the reality is that we have this idealistic view and vision of people and who they were, and it's really not who they are. And so for me, that's familiar, right? To go back to something that is familiar, even though I know that there was a reason that did not work out or continue in whatever way. And so the trust has to be in like, God, what you said in your word, what is the latter is greater than the former. What is before me is greater than what was behind. And so I'm holding on to that and trusting that. And trust is not even a day by day, a moment by moment thing. Like, God, okay, it's a little shaky. I got a lot to do on my to-do list today. I trust you that even as I prioritize you and spending time with you, that you'll allow me to get through all the things that I need to do. And somehow, some way, this is kind of getting to how I'm feeling. I'm just also learning that, man, for so many years, like, God, I don't have time to sit down in my word for an hour or do this or do that or whatever. But somehow, some way, when you commit to prioritizing time with him, he works it out. Some way, somehow, you still have enough time to do the things. And so I'm really grateful for that. And how I'm feeling excited and hopeful. I am excited with this. And there's been so many years of being afraid to be seen because of wanting to come off as perfect, right? This perfectionism, or what people are going to say, or people's opinions of you. And I feel like I am in every way like breaking out of that by force, baby. And just trusting that, like, God, you have me. So that looks like very practically, I've been posting online on Instagram and TikTok once a week with just like little something, whatever God has given me to share about. And yeah, right now it's safe because, not that many, I don't know how many people really watch it or like whatever, but it's not about that. It's building up the habit to say like, hey, Lord, for me, that is an act of worship. God, I trust you. I want to be obedient to you, that I'm going to put myself out here and trust that you're going to protect me, that you're going to safeguard me, that I'm not going to be I'm not vulnerable to hurt or harm. And yeah, you're going to protect me. And so I'm proud of myself. This is also a form of that. And I'm just excited to see like what it's going to birth and who I'm going to be in the process. So I would love to hear from you all. What is something that you're learning, something that you are doing, or how you're feeling this week? Have a wonderful rest of your week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.